Hi, Monica. How are you doing today?
Hello, Dr. Greg.
How's everything going?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing very well. So, what have you been up to since our last session together?
Just about the same, working and just kind of hanging out with friends and hanging out with my family and um, getting ready for my new niece to arrive, stuff like that.
Well, that's some pretty positive things
Mm-hmm.
going on in your life. I know last time we met, you had mentioned that your sister is expecting,
Mm-hmm.
and is she expecting pretty soon?
She's got about 6, 7 weeks left.
Wow, that's that's not very long. And you are you gonna be a big part of her life?
Yeah, I think so now, because I'm not doing drugs and drinking and all that stuff. You know, been sober, so they're gonna let me be a part of her life and stuff. So.
That's good. You know, that gives you a lot of hope.
Mhm.
You can gain a lot of encouragement for yourself,
Mhm.
knowing that in living sober, you gain your family's trust.
Mhm.
They've let you back into their lives, and you can be a big part of their life as well as your uh, newly expected niece. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Um, so she's going to be due when?
Let's see. I think it was like February 28th or something like that.
February 28th.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Maybe. Well, it might be. Let's see. This is December. January. No, it's January 28th. That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, that's still good. They have a name picked out.
Um, what did she say her name was going to be? Arabella?
Arabella.
I think Arabella.
Well, that's a pretty neat name. That's a long name.
Yeah. I think they're just going to call her Bella for short.
That's pretty in and of itself, isn't it,
Yeah.
Bella? Um, so tell me how your job is going.
Mainly it's pretty good. It's, being, promoted to management has been probably a little more stressful than what I thought it was going to be because, like just working in the bar, like the barista and stuff like that, it's, you just kind of make the drinks and serve them and stuff like that. But with this, you've got to keep time sheets and, work with like payroll and make sure everybody gets their hours and people calling sick, just dealing with that kind of stuff. So I just try to remember to be, positive and not get, like frustrated and, try to remember to be professional, things like that. Things that my boss has tried to teach me, but they also are sending me to take some management courses. So, that'll kind of give me like maybe a little taste of what uh, formal education is like. So if I like that, I'm thinking about maybe enrolling in some like I forget what they call that. Not like community college, but like where it's based on one thing. Like a technical school
I see.
or something like that. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. Um, just to kind of get an idea because in high school was the last thing I ever completed, and after that, around that time was when things started to go bad for me, and I was using and doing all those things. So I never paid much to my education, but now, you know, and being older and having like these younger people be around me, they're going to school some, or maybe I want to set a good example and, just kind of do my best and be the best person I can be. So, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity that they're going to provide. And so I'm going to look into that and start those. I think I started my first one right after the new year. They signed me up for my first management class right after the new year. So yeah, pretty busy.
I tell you what, things are looking up
Yeah.
for you, aren't they?
Well, that's changed in the last
Yeah.
over the last couple of years.
So let's look at it like this. So you've been promoted to management,
Mhm.
and in being promoted to management, you've got a lot of new things that are required of you, new duties with this job.
Mhm.
And you've indicated that there are some stresses along with this new job.
Right.
How does these new stresses affect your attachment disorder and some of your childhood trauma?
Well, since my father, was an alcoholic, and he still deals with that and some other things. My sister told me that our mother called not long ago, and they think he might be bipolar or even schizophrenic, because he's like been hallucinating and stuff like that. Like when he's not drunk, he's had a lot of violent outbursts lately. I've been arrested, and I just not a good situation currently. So I really have to stay away from that mentality, and I have to stay away from that situation, because it'll just make me revert back to old scars, basically old wounds, that I don't need or want to open up. And sometimes you just kind of have to let people go to kind of make room for the new. Like like Arabella coming, that's something new and refreshing and exciting, versus something that makes you feel down, and it tests you really badly. So we don't want to be tested. I don't want to go there. So I dealing with that, but trying not to deal with that. If that makes sense?
Yeah, I see how that would make sense. You've got this new position with your barista job, and you want to make the best out of that. Your boss is going to send you off to management classes, and if that turns out good, that might be a platform for you to pursue higher education. And then you got this niece that's on her way, and then you do have these old trauma scars. That's very mature of you, and I like the way you're going with this, that sometimes it's best so that a person can go forward and not backwards, to just cut an individual off.
I think you kind of have to finally find that one place in your mind and your heart, physically, mentally, even spiritually, that you want to be better. You want to be a better person. You want to contribute something of your life into society. There was some movie we were watching sometime, and he said something about you only get this one chance. And then you looked over at the mom was trying to get out of an abusive relationship, and the fireman told her, he said, you only get this one life, this one chance. And then he looked over at the little boy, and he said to the mom, he only gets this one life and one chance too. And my sister and I looked at each other, we were like,
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's true. We only come this way once.
Yeah.
And some of us enter into this world and we have traumas, we have illnesses, we have fatigue, we have all kinds.
Yeah, it's tiring.
It is.
I mean, there's days that are physically hard because of fatigue, and there's even days that are hard because you physically, you're doing so well, but then you start to feel guilty about, what you did, how you were living, and it's like you really have to go through process and help and trying to forgive your old ways and forgive yourself. Because if you can't forgive yourself, then you can't forgive others even. So it's a lot of work. It's daily work. It's never just, here we are. I mean, this is going on almost 3 years, now that I went to, I think that place was called Crystal Springs out in California when I went out there to get clean and things like that.
You're speaking about the rehab.
Yeah, the rehabilitation.
Let's keep this door open. I like that you're talking about this and a willingness to talk about your past and how you feel about it. We talked about sometimes you have to cut an individual out of your life,
right?
And so that you can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the same way of doing that, we try to forgive that individual, but we don't forget that they did hurt us, and so you may keep them at arm's length, right?
Yeah.
But then as time goes on, life offers us a blooming flower. And you've got all these different things, these good things, positive things happening in your life.
While still dealing with negative things.
While dealing with the negative. So what I'm would like to do now is, you said that you were talking about guilt. Do you still feel guilty, or do you have guilty feelings that you're having all these good successes, but yet your father is still living the life of an alcoholic?
I don't know if it's... Yeah, I would say there's some guilt because, if I were still doing it, he wouldn't be by himself. Or there's also what could I do to be different? What could I do maybe differently for him? What could I have done differently for him? Besides started drinking and doing those things, but basically that kind of stuff.
Right. Luckily you went off to rehab out there in California, and you gained a lot of tools out there.
Yeah, I was out there for a long time.
One of those tools I'm assuming that they taught you is stages of codependency. So it is a codependent feeling to have this guilt that I'm having all these successes, but yet my dad, who's the alcoholic, I feel like I'm abandoning him.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a degree of maybe some countertransference with that you're trying to fulfill a void in his life, and vice versa for you, that
like
the drinking brought y'all together?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if that was there and now that's not there, there's no connection.
That's true.
Yeah, I'd say that 100%
Yeah.
would be accurate.
Sometimes when I talk to young people, very often they talk about their friendships
Mm-hmm.
and how they, when they stop drinking or stop using that drug, well, those friends that they once had goes away.
Yep.
And sometimes our relatives are like that. And it's okay to grieve that. That's normal to grieve that.
I had what I thought were, a lot of friends, boyfriends, things like that, that, some people I've even met, I don't even remember meeting. There's pictures of us, of course, we're zonked or whatever, and they look a certain way, I look a certain way, and you're thinking, now you look at that, and you're thinking, those people are not in your life anymore because they never cared about you.
It's true.
And you grieve that, and I specifically grieve a friendship that, it was the best friend that I had before in school, since probably first or second grade. We did everything together, and then when all the partying and all that started, because like you were saying, there's a void, I was missing, felt like I was missing something with my father, but now there's a void there, because she's not in my life. We're starting to talk again a little bit, through social media, but it's gonna be slow. But you grieve that friendship, that what could have been, and you feel sorry for all those people that you were hanging out with, and what's become of them, and you just know life's better on the other side.
Yeah, that's true. And as part of keeping somebody at arm's length, it's okay to be cool with somebody. That's the beauty of social media. You can say, hello to them, bye to them, kind of keep up with electronic communication.
Right.
But then again, you don't have to have much to do with them.
Right.
You can just kind of keep up with them as somebody that you run in from time to time. But
that's always awkward.
it's true. Now, let me ask you this. Supposing that you do strike up a new-founded relationship with this individual again, and
you can call her Grace.
Her name is Grace?
Well, it's not her real name, but...
Okay, for the sake of conversation.
Just for privacy matters, I'll call her Grace.
Let's say Grace, she's not in a place where you're at. She's not ready to give up alcohol and drugs.
No, Grace is the good one. She's the good friend I had that I'm trying to build a relationship back, because she was always a positive influence.
Oh, I see.
The other friend, you could call her Carly was her actual name. Carly was the one that I used to hang out with and do bad things, and we lived together in this old ratty abandoned house and had no water, no electricity. It was disgusting. But she always watched my back. She, when you're doing the tourniquet and stuff like that, she was always the one that would watch out for you, when you're getting ready to shoot up and stuff, or if you're too drunk to walk down the sidewalk, she would be the one that would holding your shoulder up.
So is Carly the one you were talking about that you found on social media?
No, that was Grace.
Okay.
I don't know where Carly is now. When I left to go to Crystal Springs, I didn't see her. I've never seen her since then.
And that's probably good. But let's go back to Grace, and she's the positive influence. Yeah, I think that would be good. You were friends with her. She was a positive influence for you before the drugs started.
Oh, yeah, since second grade.
Yeah, so that's fine. You can, contact her, and maybe in a way you can build back what was lost over those years, and maybe have somebody that's known you since childhood, and that would be real good, I think. Some of my bestest of friends are those that I remember from my growing up years, and I think about those fond memories, and those are some things that you can rely on. Good, happy memories. Yeah,
Commonality.
having some
Something.
commonality. You're making a lot of progress. I'm very proud of you, and so next time we'll try to schedule for another session, and I'll talk to you then.
Okay.
And you can you just have a real good rest of your day.
All right. Thanks.
All righty.
Bye.
Have a good one.